Hey guys, it's Christian and Corey from SuperKamiGuru9000, and we're here to bring you our review of Naruto Chapter 557. So sit down, because here it comes. Okay, so the chapter starts off with Gara looking up at the sky with a whole bunch of nameless ninja like, oh my god! And then Anoki starts going into this explanation.
And this is when we start to learn a lot about the Mizukage's real abilities, why he's to be feared, not just be known for summoning a giant clam. First and foremost, we get an explanation of that huge-ass explosion that had a face in it. And this is just crazy. This is one of the weirdest abilities I've ever seen so far in the series. But what happens is he creates this giant explosion of rain that goes up into the sky and slowly comes back down, and it creates this water clone. But it's not just a normal water clone. It's actually covered with a thin layer of oil all the way around it, kind of like an oily skin, and all the water is inside. And Anoki says it takes the form of a kid. It looks like something that Tim Burton would have drawn, and it's really creepy looking, actually. But the whole point of this ability is when he's actually fighting, the oil outside of the body will heat up, and that will cause the water inside of his body to evaporate, thus expanding outwards. And the more he fights, the more it'll expand, and essentially it creates another explosion, which again will create all of this rain, and he'll just repeat it all again as the rain comes down and reforms a new clone. This is a crazy-ass ability.
So something else crazy about this clone is it's like super fast. Gara can't even catch it with his hand. And also it has this ridiculous ability to grow weapons off of its body. So on top of being like untouchable fast, it's just going to like come up and slice you. And this just kind of reminded me of like the T-1000 from Terminator.
Have you seen this boy?
So now that they got this giant oil water clone on the field that can just explode at any time, they have to find the real Mizukage, and luckily they happen to have a sensor ninja who's there, and conveniently they just find them immediately. And he's standing behind some rocks, so Gara gets over there and he's getting ready to take him down, and he uses his new pyramid attack again. It's really, really cool looking. But then all of a sudden the clone appears again right in front of the pyramid, and it's freaking huge, and it looks like it's about to explode at any time.
And this clone is still like so fast, it just gets all of the seals off the pyramid, and the Mizukage ends up like wiggling his head off the top of the pyramid.
Mommy!
Oh, and we see Naruto for 2 panels.
So in an act of total desperation, the Mizukage decides to do another friggin' explosion, but luckily Gara is able to stop it with his dead mom no jutsu, where he's able to form basically this giant shield in the shape of his mother that protects all of the Shinobi Alliance.
Okay, so Gara ends up surviving the attack along with the Shinobi Alliance, and then the Mizukage ends up giving him some props, but then sends his clone right at him, and he's attacking with his T-1000 weapons. And then all of a sudden, Gara gets hit by the clone, but it actually turns out to be a sand clone, which hit the Mizukage's clone, and Gara reappears behind him, and then the clone of the Mizukage explodes, but then kind of stops halfway because Gara's clone started to steal it. And then we find out that there was actually gold dust in there, and as the clone was cooling off, you know, back and forth as it explodes and reconnects, the cooling made the gold like lock like a rock around it, and it can't move anymore, and that clone is out, and the Mizukage is like, damn, son. And that's how the chapter pretty much comes to a close.
And by the way, this is not just a chapter review, it also doubles as a drinking game. Every time you hear the word clone, take a drink.
Boom.
Alright guys, what did we think about this week's chapter? I don't know about you, but in retrospect, after reading Bleach and everything, I really liked this week's chapter a lot. Mostly for the Mizukage, but mostly because I just did not expect that his abilities would be this intricate and this well thought out.
He also just developed a lot more as a character than I was expecting. I was sort of just seeing him as this smart-ass guy, and then towards the end he's actually being sort of a teacher figure to Gara, and Gara was already sort of a fully fleshed out character, so it's cool to see some more development on Gara's side too. And the Mizukage actually, I almost want to say I end up liking him a little bit after this chapter, and I really did not like him. I thought his look was stupid. We gave him the dumb French Mizukage name, but like he got kind of redeemed himself this chapter, and his clone technique was really badass.
No, actually, I do agree on the fact that of the Kages that were summoned, like for this and everything, he was definitely my least favorite. But from what I've seen from everybody, he's probably one of my favorites now. I mean, the whole concept of the whole oil and water and heating it up to evaporate and explode and then come back down and do it again, that's just ridiculous. It almost sounds like something out of One Piece. I mean, it sounds like a devil fruit ability. It's insane, and I like it though because it shows that the author is still being really, really creative, and there's more to this series than just Rasengan and Sharingan, and that's why I think I like this chapter so much.
And this really shows why we like shonen manga. It's battle manga. The reason we like the Mizukage so much now is because he got a cool fight in. So, just remember what these manga are really about, because I think battling is really what you come to Naruto for, because the fights are so good and so well thought out and have so much depth to them. So I'm just glad that we got an awesome fight this week. Okay, you guys, for rating this week, we want to drop a 8.0. 8 out of 10, okay, you guys? So that's what we thought this week, mostly because what we just talked about.
Alright guys, it's time for our question of the week, where we want to know what you think. Well, basically for this week, we can assume that the Mizukage has been defeated, and thus he's going to be sealed up, and this means a victory for Gara and his team. And basically, we don't know where it's going to go from here, but we want to know what you guys think. We want to know what teams you want to see fight, or what other things you want to see coming up in the future of the Naruto chapters. So let us know with your comments below. Or if you just want to let us know what you thought of this week's chapter, leave your comments there as well.
Thumbs up. Okay, you guys, so we just want to be honest. If you like the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, because it helps our videos get around the YouTube anime community, and it helps more people see our stuff. So thank you guys, and until next time, SuperKamiGuru9000 out.
Next week, we eat ramen.
You made the face!